Good evening and welcome to the Monday Agenda. The Monday Agenda today is delighted to have an interview with Ambassador Dr. Sahabi Isagada, OFR MNI, the Nigerian High Commissioner to the United Republic of Tanzania. Your Excellency, very most welcome to the program and thank you for hosting us.
Thank you very much.
I understand, Your Excellency, that your time in Tanzania is lapsing. And soon, I do not know how soon, as much as we would wish you to stay further, but soon you'll be going back to Nigeria. How would you say your time in Tanzania has been?
Well, thank you very much, Austin. It is true that I have come to the end of my term in Tanzania, and 3 years that were well spent. I never had the opportunity of coming to Tanzania until this appointment as the Nigerian High Commissioner, and I really enjoyed my period here. I have a lot of things that I have learned because, from Tanzania and even the Tanzanian authority as ambassador. One, you have dual roles. One, to ensure that the relationship between your two countries, is waxing stronger. They also learn the culture and the way of living of the people so that you can now adapt yourself to society. Luckily enough, I didn't have any problem with Tanzania because if it is the dress, you find that there are Arabs and a lot of Tanzanians wearing long this and so. So honestly, I have enjoyed my 3 years in Tanzania, and I have a lot to report back home on Tanzania.
But what is it that you really take at heart to Nigeria about Tanzania?
Honestly, in a typical African setting, there are things that you find a little bit lapses. But honestly, in Tanzania, I find the people to be very law-abiding. I can cite some of the examples that I say Tanzanian are law-abiding. I remember when, I think on 1st June 2019 or so, when the government banned the use of plastic bags, as if it is rainfall and then it stopped. By 2nd of June, either June or July, you hardly find any plastic. Even if you travel to the remotest area of the Tanganyika mainland, that is law-abiding. I can also cite example of the speed bus, its routes. You hardly find anybody, crossing that under no circumstances. That is law-abiding. And a lot of other things that one can cite that make me to appreciate the Tanzanians. And again, the most importantly, the language. The Swahili language, honestly, is something that African countries should copy. Tanzania was initially a colony of Germany,
That's correct.
as I made to understand.
Yes.
And then later it became a colony of Britain. So ordinarily you expect that the German language and English should supersede any other. But Swahili is supreme here. And very interesting thing is that all the locals, the Tanzanians, have accepted it as their number one language. Even though I understand there are more than 120 different languages in Tanzania, but that is why somebody should have summed up for the fathers of this nation. Because getting people to drop, at least set aside their mother tongue and adopt one single language, that is exceptional. And one can always remember Tanzanians for that. And it has become the source of unity of the Tanzanians. And when there is unity, there is prosperity. And these things are moving. Law abiding, you have common language, because whatever you are learning, if you have that your local language in place, you get everything. So I envy Tanzanians, honestly, for that single language that they have adopted. And like I said, I have my thumbs up for the fathers of this nation, the Nyereres and his whatever support or people that supported him. They really worked hard, and Tanzanians are reaping that effort of the past leaders.
How would you describe your time, your tenure in Tanzania, or even the years before? Because I understand the first ambassador, High Commissioner in Tanzania from Nigeria was in 1962. So how would you describe the relationship that you've had between Nigeria and Tanzania to date from 1962 or from the time that you've been in Tanzania?
Honestly, relationship between Nigeria and Tanzania has even gone beyond the independence.
That's right.
Beyond the 1962 when the mission was opened here. I recall a lot of countries in East and Southern Africa were under colonial domination, especially, apartheid regimes in South Africa, in Rhodesia. And there are frontline states of which Tanzania be considered as number one, because I have seen and been to some places where the freedom fighters were hosted here.
That's true.
I've seen where Samora Machel and who, stayed in Tanzania, the camps where they trained to fight the apartheid regime. And Nigeria, even though it doesn't belong to the frontline countries, it played a role, major role, economically, financially, and give support to ensure that our brothers and sisters under colonial domination gain their freedom. So I am saying our relationship had been long. And immediately, Tanzania got its independence in 1961.
That's true.
Months later, Nigeria opened an embassy here in Dar es Salaam. And since then, we have been relating. There are a lot of things that, we relate. We support one another in a number of cases. I remember when the Nigerian, the president of the African Development Bank wanted to go for his second term, which of course we are aware that there was opposition from some super countries.
Yes.
I'm glad to say Tanzania was among the first to accept and approve supporting him.
Yeah.
And it was even the president himself that wrote a letter of support and then forwarded to my president.
That's correct.
That is good. If there is, you can't achieve that if there is no good relationship.
Absolutely.
And also, we tried as much as possible to keep that relationship going. And also, as ambassador or diplomats, we have triple roles. Make sure the relationship is waxing stronger. Make sure you look at the opportunities that you find in the country of posting that will be of good to your own country.
Correct.
And also try and export what you think is good for Tanzanian or for the country you're serving from the country you come from. And not beating the chest and boast, but I believe the Nigerian High Commission in Tanzania has lived the expectation when there was no single day we have any rift regarding between the two countries, a rift that you can call rift. There may be some issues that one would complain about, but if you look at what caused those issues, then you think that they are really immaterial.
Yeah.
So also, you try to get in investment. I can say we have tried our best.
Yes.
Currently, there is a group, a very big investor called Ibru.
Hebrew.
Ibru Group, and upon the request, by the request of the president of Zanzibar, we were talking about the same country.
Yes.
And he requested that he would want Nigerians to come and invest in the fishing, deep sea fishing industry.
Okay.
And we managed to get the best out of investors
Excellent.
who have been in the business since 1956. You can see how long. They have the capacity. Capacity means the required equipment, trawlers, ships, and importantly the money to run the business. And I'm glad to say we have gone very far because they paid the Kasik on the president of Zanzibar and the Minister of Agriculture, and there they are connected with officials of the Fishery Authority, Deep Sea Fishery Authority, and they have been discussing. Only last 2 weeks, they are on virtual conference just to sort out things.
Okay.
We would have got somewhere, even though because of this shutdown.
Okay.
Because they were here in, I think, January. Yeah, I think January, either January or February. And immediately after that visit, there was a lockdown.
Yeah.
And but now that Nigeria has opened its airspace, and Tanzania has done that earlier, we believe very soon these investors will come and show their might, here in Dar es Salaam, in Tanzania.
Correct.
We have also investments. We have the Dangote group.
Which one is this?
Dangote,
Yes.
Dangote,
yes.
the cement mango.
Yes.
Who has the largest and the biggest cement industry in East Africa, is sited in Mtwara. And I believe Nigeria can say we have assisted Tanzania because it's a very big, I visited Mtwara. They have over 1,000 workers.
Okay.
And Nigerians, out of them, you can count them on your fingertip, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
The rest are all Tanzanians. We have banks. We have the Guarantee Trust Bank. Yesterday, the MD was had the opportunity of addressing the African diplomats. And when somebody asked him about staff strengths, he told them the staff strengths, and he said it's only himself and one other person that are from Nigeria. All the rest are Tanzanians. The same with the United Bank for Africa. There are other investments that Nigeria has here, and which means we help in creating revenue for Tanzanians and also employment for the Tanzanians. And the sky is the limit we are going on. We tried at one stage to export Tanzanian investment into Nigeria. There is a company called Chobo Meat Processing Industry company based in Mwanza.
Okay.
At one time, some delegates from Nigeria were in talks with that company to see how possible it is to export the processed meat into Nigeria from Tanzania.
Wow.
Not only that, because Nigeria, like Tanzania, has a lot of animals. We have a lot of cows, camels, sheep, goats, and so on. So that also we import that business into Nigeria so that we have a sister company that is based in Nigeria, still affiliated to the company here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, again, I think the COVID and a lot of other things, contributed to delay. But we pledge as an embassy that we revive that discussion. Even though I'm going soon, very soon,
Yeah.
but all the same, the system is still there. And the same policy, the same instructions. Whatever I do now is what I have inherited from the past ambassador or ambassadors, and whoever is coming to take over from me will also carry on with the same policy, because we are simply instructed to ensure a relationship, to ensure that we import or export business.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm trying to see the areas. You've mentioned many of bilateral economic cooperation between our two countries, and of course the opportunities like the one you've just mentioned now about the meat and many more. With your experience, rich experience that I really wish to tap onto, how best can we enhance or continue to ensure that this legacy, this you said you inherited it from your predecessors, and now you're living it knowing that it will continue, but how best can we, even now the Tanzanians who are watching the program, how best can we embrace this legacy so that it continues, it grows, so that our two economies can grow along together?
If you are appointed as ambassador or high commissioner, you go through induction.
Correct.
Where they tell you the do's and don't.
Okay.
And the main purpose is ensure the relationship is waxing, and then export and import, and then take care of your citizens that are also within your country of posting. That is things that relate to Nigerians, that the embassy need to come in to assist, sort things out. It's also another issue. So, like I said, this is a relationship that was built before even independence.
Correct.
With a single aim of promoting Africa and Africanism. Nigeria, Tanzania have been that forefront. And I believe, like I said, whatever actions, whoever is the ambassador or high commissioner will follow that route, because that is what he has been guided to do. So I believe a relationship between us will continue. We try to look at areas where we can also enhance. For instance, I was in a deep discussion for quite some time with the Air Tanzania. Yeah. Because currently, you want to go to Nigeria, you have either to go to Cairo if it's Egypt, yeah, or you go to Addis Ababa if it's Ethiopia, or you go to Kigali if it's Rwanda. So we are looking at the possibility of having direct flight from Dar es Salaam into either Abuja or Lagos. And the Tanzanian Air Authority have given an indication that they will look at that. In fact, according to what we concluded many months ago, they will put that request, the second phase of their development. Yeah. Currently, they are sampling the market to see do they have enough passengers to fly Tanzanian airline into Lagos or Abuja. And I assure you, Nigeria, apart from being was over 200 million. Nigerians are very enterprising. Yeah. Nigerians, they travel a lot. So this is something that if they decide in the long run, they will be glad they did. Because I had supposed to travel to Mumbai through Tanzanian airline. Yeah. Very smooth journey, planes brand new. And of course, the services were very, very good, exceptional. So I believe if they find themselves into the Nigerian market, they will not regret that they have done. Because currently, all the major airlines come to Nigeria. KLM, British Airways, Swiss Air, name them all, they come to Nigeria. They don't come for nothing. They come because there is a market.
Yeah,
so we try as much as possible, I'm sure. Whoever is coming from you will see in the handover, the push.
Yes.
So they'll continue to push. And we believe we are achieving, improving relation, importing and exporting business, and also see to the problems of our community that lives here and ensure that we are not the only ambassadors. Whoever travel out of his country and come into another country, he is automatically an ambassador of that his country.
Correct.
In the place he finds himself, because whatever he does reflect back on his own country.
Tanzania, under the fifth regime under Dr. Joseph John Pombe Magufuli, has been promoting transformation of the economy from a lower economy to a lower middle income economy through industrialization come the year 2025. And if again I look onto the issues of economies between our two countries, Nigeria is advanced, more advanced than Tanzania in terms of per capita income. What are some of the lessons that Tanzania can draw, especially the business community watching this program now, from Nigeria? Of course, we learn from everywhere, but the aggressiveness, you're happy when you do business with Nigerians because they really push you. So what are some of the lessons that really Tanzania can draw from Nigeria? And because you are the flagship of Nigeria, as you rightly said, you're here now, you're the ambassador. You reflect back onto your country. What are some of the lessons, Your Excellency, that we can draw in terms of, pushing and working closely with the fifth regime, which is going to the sixth regime again, pushing for industrialization to becoming a middle income state by 2025?
Let me start by appreciating their drive for internal revenue. It's really fantastic. And again, when you pay, and then you see where your money goes, they'll be happy to continue to be law-abiding, pay your taxes and whatever, when it's due.
Yeah.
Nigerians are aggressive. That is aggressive. They're always looking into greener pasture.
Absolutely.
So this has been in them.
Yeah.
So the only thing one can call is copy. Whenever you get yourself in the midst of Nigerians, try and see how they, because a Nigerian can set up a shop today, and then another person shop this way, maybe with the same amount of goods, but give it 1 year or so, you find that the Nigerian has gone because
already exporting
is in them.
Yes.
So one can say Tanzanians should try as much as possible to get themselves in. I had a course to face the press some 2 days ago. I advised Tanzanians, to push themselves into Nigeria wherever the embassy is here. Whoever wants to run business in Nigeria, let him come to us. We'll give him a very good guide. And I'm glad of recent things are happening.
Okay.
People are coming. Even, is it yesterday or day before yesterday, there are some groups that came and are planning to invest in Nigeria. Okay. So maybe when they get to Nigeria, they do the investment and they see how the investment keep on rising. When they come back, they will tell the people how to go about. But honestly, the economy in Tanzania has improved so much, and from the rigid policies. Rigid in the sense that you put a policy and make sure that people obey it.
Absolutely. You are watching the Monday Agenda, and on the program with me today is the Ambassador Dr. Sahabi Isagada, or OFR MNI, the Nigerian High Commissioner to the United Republic of Tanzania. And sadly, that I only get the opportunity, the Monday Agenda only gets the opportunity to have an interview with him on his very few last days that he has with us in Tanzania. And this program is dedicated towards tapping all the rich experience he's had and all the wisdom that, we can fish so that, the legacy, what he has started, what the mission is trying to achieve in Tanzania will go on even past his stay in Tanzania. And Your Excellency, you well explained one of the mandate is also to promote the opportunities in your country. Now, for the Tanzanians, the business community, the development partners who are watching the Monday Agenda right now, I'm sure they'll be keen to know what are some of the opportunities in Nigeria that they may probably have a closer eye and interest so that they can look on to investing in Nigeria. You can mention a few.
See, you'll be believing when you get into Nigeria,
yes,
or if you happen to go and invest in Nigeria and see how the investment grows, you know that, the areas are wide. For exploration, that is either oil or mineral, there is an opportunity there. In agriculture, there is also an opportunity there.
Okay.
There are a lot of areas that, Tanzania will gain from Nigeria. Even the Nigeria too, gain from Tanzania.
Yes.
One thing I forgot to mention, the current Nigerian capital, Abuja.
Yes.
The plan was borrowed from Tanzania. It was a Dodoma plan because Tanzania wanted to move to new capital much earlier than Nigeria. So when Nigeria made its mind to move out of Lagos because of many reasons, it is the Dodoma plan that they borrowed. But of course, they modified it. So you can see that the relationship has been long.
Yeah.
And luckily enough, the leaders have kept it going.
Okay.
Even though at a certain stage there was a slight hitch, we had a civil war. This is history.
Yes.
Tanzania supported the rebel, but that has been history and is gone.
Way past.
And then we have forgotten about that. The relationship is quite excellent. So in all this area of agriculture, mineral exploration, a lot of other things that Tanzanians can gain from Nigeria, even in tourism. Even though when we mention tourism, you are far ahead of us.
Yes.
But in terms of the parks and the facilities you have, but also tourism also involves hotels and other business. So there are Tanzanians come to build a hotel in Abuja.
Yeah.
I assure you, he'll thank God that he did. So there are opportunities, ample opportunities.
Okay.
In
the areas of health, in the areas of education.
Thank you. Area of education, that is another area. And currently we support Tanzania, to be specific, Zanzibar. We supply the government, there was an agreement signed between our government and the government of the revolutionary government of Zanzibar for Nigeria to provide technical aid. So we have volunteers that teach science in secondary schools in Zanzibar.
Wow.
And of recent, that is mid-2019, that's to show how appreciative they are and how they want the program to continue. They extended it now to higher institutions.
Wow.
So we brought in Nigerians with PhD degrees to teach in higher institutions, Karume Institute and other institutions that are in Zanzibar. So in the area of education, we are exploring.
Excellent.
We had a discussion the Vice Chancellor of University of Zanzibar was sitting here.
Okay.
You know, looking at the ways we can coordinate between his institution and institutions in Nigeria.
Okay.
But luckily at that level, universities, wherever they are interlinked.
Mm-hmm.
They have a sort of association, they know how to reach out to themselves, and I believe he has reached out to Nigeria, and they are working together. So area of education, area of health, and agriculture, and a lot of areas.
Okay.
Yes.
Prior to coming to Tanzania, where were you and what were you doing? Were you an ambassador, high commissioner in another country, or this is your first posting?
This is my first outing as ambassador.
Okay.
At this age.
Uh-huh.
So it tells you that I am not a career ambassador, I am a political appointee.
Okay.
Before then, I was a civil servant, rose from the lower level up to the position of permanent secretary.
Oh, excellent.
And when I retired from the position of permanent secretary, in fact, earlier than that, I was the chief executive of Media Corporation. I was the managing director of radio and television stations in my state.
Okay.
So I know
exactly.
Yes, I know exactly. Before then, I was general manager for 9 years before I became managing director, and then later permanent secretary. And when time to throw out the gloves, that is retirement, I retired and got a little bit involved in politics.
Okay.
And luckily enough, our party won, and I was made the secretary to the government of my state.
Okay.
We usually have 4-year term.
Okay.
So we did our first 4 year, we did the second 4 year, and then handed over to another administration.
Okay.
And luckily that administration, again, the very day we handed over, the very day the governor appointed me as the commissioner in charge of higher education.
Wow.
In the state. And it's a very large ministry that involves all the high institutions, about 11 of them in listen. And it was from there that I just had my name as ambassador.
Okay.
And so that's how I managed to come here, but I'm not a career ambassador. I was a civil servant, retired, became a public servant, and then have this appointment. But I think for now,
yes,
maybe I have come to the end of my move.
Okay.
Maybe when I get back to Nigeria, I will just take a very good rest, take care of my children and grandchildren.
Yes, Richard, wanted to ask, actually you're almost preempting me. So what next from here, Your Excellency? What are you planning to do after Tanzania?
Well, naturally, somebody need to ensure that because if you get yourself locked up in your house, don't do anything that it's not even good for your health.
Not at all.
So of course, I have been a seasoned farmer.
Okay.
Even before, because this is one trade that you are permitted to do whatever position. President can be a farmer.
Yes.
Governor can be a farmer, because I know it is good to promote agriculture.
Absolutely.
So farming is one of them.
Okay.
And any opportunity, maybe chairing, ad hoc chairing of committees, and maybe chairman of board or something. That one I don't know. Okay. It may come, but these are positions sometimes left for senior citizens, so that they guide the people coming up. So for now, immediately I go.
Yes.
I go into my farms.
Yeah.
And continue farming.
Your Excellency, our time is almost coming to an end. I am sure you will have a word or two or three of wisdom to our viewers, to the youth, to the Tanzanians who are watching the Monday Agenda this evening.
Well, like I have said and I've been saying and I'll continue to say, even when I leave Tanzania, that I envy Tanzanians for law abiding, for that common language, Swahili. And you know, these are things that I want Tanzanians to continue to adhere to.
Okay.
And for the young ones coming up, One, the area I mentioned, education, is really important. Even for parents, even if you're a rich man, you can't make your son or your daughter rich, but give her education. Once you educate a person, then you have done everything for him.
Correct.
And so I think they should look at the area of education, get things moving, and I believe with the institutions we have here and the record they have, youth have a lot of chances.
Yeah.
So don't just because you are youth, don't say you are unemployed. There are a lot of things, especially in Tanzania, where they have opportunity in agriculture. Whenever I go by road to Arusha, Mwanza, I appreciate, the large farmlands. And again, there was this calculation that if you go to Dodoma, you find that is where you find grapes. Yes. If you go to Matuara, cashew nut. If you go to some pineapple, others oranges. Yes. And that's, trade by barter, if you have, you carry it to that. It also improves the unity of people. Absolutely. So I think they should carry on with this. And they are lucky that things are moving the way, that is my observation, honest observation, that if you look, for instance, at Dar es Salaam today, look at Dar es Salaam, even from the day I came in 3 years ago, you see improvements, road projects, areas that if you stick to them will improve your economy, railway, airplanes. Imagine Tanzania now with a lot of brand new airlines, including the Dream Airline.
Dreamliner, yes.
So let them support their governments, and they will be surprised, some of the good things they will come across.
Let them support their government, and they will be surprised by the good things they will get, by the good things we shall get. These are the words of wisdom from His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Sahabi Isagada, OFR, MNI, the Nigerian High Commissioner to Tanzania. The outgoing, sadly, but we can always wish him the very best. And with that marks the end of the Monday agenda. So thank you very much, Your Excellency, for hosting us here at the embassy, and we wish you the very best in your next endeavor. In Africa, we have a saying that mountains don't meet, but people do meet. Maybe I will have the opportunity one day to visit Nigeria. I will make it a point to look for you anywhere, so that at least I can have a cup of coffee with you and, catch up, more words of wisdom from you. I'm your host, Austin Makani, and thank you for watching the Monday Agenda. Until next time, stay tuned.